you know, 3-0s as well for yourself.
That you will.
So if he can 3-0 DRG, that is actually going to put him into a great position.
Very much the case. Well, Artosis, why don't you take it away? Introduce our 2 players here.
All right. Up here on the top of Metropolis, one of the best Zerg players in the world. As you see, we zoom in. It looks like there's a little slide on that hatchery. I'd love to go through there, but it'd probably be a little bit sticky.
A little slimy.
Yeah, I think so. Isn't that where the larvae come out?
I think so.
No, JP, I'm not going to say who he is. Too bad. All right, it is none other than MVP Dongraegu. Down here in the bottom, he's now in 7th place, but if he can win this, and if he can actually like 3-0 it, he's going to be in like 3rd place? Yeah, actually if he wins this, he's in 3rd place. He is Complexity Ganzi.
Now, what kind of opening do you think we'll see from here? You know, these days it seems like the leanings have more been towards gasless command center into double gas, into reactor Hellions. Do you think that's what we'll see from Ganzi?
Yeah.
Or do you think he'll mix it up?
I think that's actually exactly what we'll see. I actually like that build personally more than Reactor to Hellion into Expand. Because, you know, Reactor to Hellion into Expand, I feel like, well, nowadays no one's going to actually lose any drones to that. So why are you sacrificing your economy that early? You can get basically the same results if you kill no drones with both of them with going afterwards. So that's what I think we're going to see. I'm not going to say I'm hoping to see it. I think it'd be a smart build, but I'm bored of Reactor Hellions out of BC.
So pretty soon we'll have Battle Hellions, won't we?
They actually said that they took that out, I think.
I thought it was the Warhound getting.
Oh, maybe it was. I don't know the
know
names of all these things. As long as the Oracle's in, I'm happy, man. All right, so DRG, probably just going to play his standard play. I mean, there's not a lot of variation in Zerg in the early game. Because, well, I mean, you can try to do some sneaky all-in, but if you don't play really economically, then you're not going to have a late game.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen a couple Zerg players now kind of starting to, if they scout out this gasless expansion, even before the 2nd supply depot, some players will like to throw down that 3rd hatchery really quickly. And I love that style because it's kind of like, well, your opponent's making Hellions, and while they can zone off that area so the drone can't start the hatchery, but if you start that preemptively, then it really puts a lot of pressure on the Terran to try and come out with a timing attack or something to punish you.
So are you talking like the 3rd hatchery is a macro hatch or at the 3rd base?
No, at the base. At the base.
Ooh, all right. Yeah, that's actually what Nest T recently has truly been doing. He's one of the first Zergs that really caught on and actually agreed with you on that. He's like, well, you know, I'm gonna kind of put the onus on him, and it's kind of a cool style. I do like it because those Reactor Hellions are later. I mean, and by the way, Reactor Hellions do 0 damage to buildings. I mean, it takes forever to kill a building with one of those. So we'll see if that's what he ends up wanting to do. Of course, Ganzi is going down that road towards factory, making that factory now. But yeah, and it's right in place so that a reactor can go up. Pretty standard.
Yeah, and Ganji's still actually with no scouting information here. So he's got to be, he's got to be careful. He's just kind of playing the player here. He knows, I mean, when you're up 1-0 in a series against Dongraegu, chances are he's not going to come out with some crazy early all-in.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine DRG almost ever doing some crazy all-in. By the way, DRG is going for the 4 queen style, and that is a style that actually I'm really fond of. This allows you to spread your creep unbelievably quick, and actually gives you a lot of defense against those Hellions. You know, you don't necessarily need a spine crawler, especially against these later Hellions. So we'll have to see how that goes. In the meantime, we do have a starport coming up from Ganzi. So it's quite likely that we could see him grab a Banshee to go along with this. And then, of course, medevacs are going to be out quickly. And if he still has Hellions around by that point, he can do some harassment with those.
Yeah, I think you called it there. Tech Lab going down on the barracks. So depending on how much gas he's mining, he's already got 200 in the bank. Very possible we see Cloak here. And this is increasingly becoming possible. It just gives you a lot of map control. You can kind of scout things out. If there is the possibility of a Roachbane all-in, Banshees, of course, as long as you're microing well and have a good SimCity set up and can buy yourself time for the Banshees to actually kill things, it makes you very safe.
It very much does. Now, DRG, this is getting kind of interesting. He went for the 4 queen opening, and he's making a spine crawler. Yet, he's making a Roach Warren as well. What do you think about this?
This, to me, just feels like ultra cautious play. You know, I'm really not sure. Maybe you've got more insight, but you know, is he afraid of some kind of double reactor Hellion build and wants to, you know, not die to that? Because otherwise, oh wow, 7 roaches now in production.
Yeah.
8.
Well, with the 3 gases, it's kind of looking like he wants to roach Bane all in. You know, why do you need 3 gases without a layer going for a Roach Warren? If you're doing it defensively, you literally need 1 gas, maybe 2. Yeah, it looks like this is probably going to be an all-in. We should see a Baneling Nest going down pretty soon here, and bam, there it goes. The Cloak, though, on the way for that Banshee, and I'm looking around. Oh boy.
There's no Evo chamber.
There's no Evo chamber.
You don't need detection when you're going all in, right? So
no, I guess you don't. But we'll see if that actually ends up hurting him. He, of course, has no way to detect right now. But with all these roaches and lings going across the map, with banelings on the way, this is scary. I think he's actually going to go kill him. So I mean, he might lose every drone, but I think he's just going to kill Ganzi.
I mean, Ganzi went for a 3rd command center at the base. He went for double engineering bay. He's busy investing in stim. None of these things are going to be helping him out. Very, very greedy play, and Dongraegu may be punishing him here.
Yeah, we will see. There are some Marines on the high ground. That Banshee dealing a lot of damage, but is it dealing it quick enough? And I feel like we should be seeing some Banelings pretty quickly here.
Yeah, I mean, Dongraegu's got about 500 gas in the bank, but I think when he saw the Banshee, he was like, I don't even need Banelings. I can just go. And that's exactly what he's doing into the main now. And he's still got a good amount of drones alive. You know, 26, the spores are almost done here. So if he can just clean up that 1 Banshee, he's on top of the production.
Well, there is a spore on the way, and he finally runs out of Cloak with 11 kills now, but the Roach is killing so much as well. Morlings just funneling right in. And at this point, we have 17 SCVs killed to 9 drones killed.
And it looks like both these players are just going to clean up each other's aggression. And I got to say, that really puts Ganzi in a pretty good spot. He's got the 3rd command center. He's got the engineering base. He's got the tech. His stim, that tech lab didn't get taken out. So yeah, he's in a pretty good spot, I'd say.
I agree with you completely. I mean, he's got such a tech advantage. And with that quick 3rd command center, he was able to so easily just go down and take that 3rd base. And, you know, this is, I think he got a little bit either scared or overconfident during that attack, because the SCVs, we actually see this happen from time to time where it's so even, this Banshee greedy build against a Roach Baneling all-in, where the SCVs actually end up cleaning up. But if you have 2-3 Banelings, once you get up that ramp making, then the SCVs all die in 2 seconds, and then you just have a bunch of Roaches cleaning up everything else.
Yeah, very true. But for now, Dongraegu continuing to tech here, getting his lair, getting his 4th gas, and if there's anyone who can kind of come back from this sort of position, it is certainly Dongraegu. He's still got a good creep spread, so he's got all of that vision if any kind of push does come. So he's certainly not out of it yet, but he needs to play a damn good game here. Yeah, he has to really put his best effort in, and of course he knows that he does not want to lose this game, because if he goes to the 3-3 again, I mean, this is where he can tie up for 2nd place with Violet. And that's something that's very important, because he actually beat Violet in head-to-head. Ah, yes.
So that's a big deal. That would put him actually into 2nd place. So a very important series, but right now it's looking grim. We have 46 SCVs to 51 drones and 3 bases to 2. That just spells disaster for DRG. It's a pretty good spot for Terran, definitely. Now, we see the Spire coming out, so what are your thoughts on Mew to play here? Because he's already seen the engineering bays, and hold that thought for a second. As these Banshees, you got to really give Ganzi a lot of credit, just continuing to make these units useful and just one-shotting drones with ease here. Yeah, this is great play with these Banshees. In fact, the Queens do have to back up, very sadly for DRG. But yeah, you know, I really, really like this for him. Not for DRG, though. The Spire that you just asked about, I don't like that, actually. I feel like if you go in an even game into Spire Tech with Mutalisks, then it's a good game and you can use your skill to get ahead. But if you're already behind, if you are a base down against someone with 2 engineering bays getting upgrades on those Marines, what are the Mutas ever going to do? You may as well just go for Infestors or just like a Baneling Roach army, something to catch them off guard. The Mutas, I just can't see actually doing anything here. Yeah, I really definitely agree with you that
Infestors may have been a more natural choice too, just because if you look at his gas count too, he's kind of low on minerals, but he's high on gas. So right now he's making 9 mutas, but you know, mutas are obviously 100, so he would have been able to get more Infestors. And once the mutas show up, I mean, +3 attack already starting here for these Marines, and +3 attack starting with +1 melee attack. Oof.
3 base Terran. I mean, he can throw up 4 turrets at each base if he wants. The mutas, I mean, yeah, they're going to be good cleanup drops like this, but that's literally all they're going to be again this game.
I don't know. There's no banelings out. They're not even going to be that good at cleaning this up.
Yeah, I guess the drop just kills them or something. Oh my God, look at this. The mutas just falling down to these upgraded Marines.
Nice
very painfully. Though. Yeah, that's a good transfuse. Okay, so he cleans it up, but I mean, this is really not looking well for DRG, and he continues to make mutas. He's pumping all of his gas into mutalisks, and I feel like this is just, he's saying, well, I'm behind, and I'm going to stay behind.
Yeah, exactly. To me, it feels like with those mutas, if you can, like, not have your opponent know about them and then just show up in their base with 10 mutas and do some damage, then you're great. But because he had to defend that drop, now turrets are going up just about everywhere, and I really can't imagine Ganzi getting caught off guard by them.
No,
obviously.
He's just not going to be caught off guard at all. I mean, 3-2 on the way. He's up by 40 supply. DRG going to try to run around and do some damage, but, well, Ganji's actually third base isn't set up perfectly. It does have, oh, that's actually, it did have a missile turret. The bunker placement, beautiful, so that no surface area can be had. And Ganzi actually attacking right now, I actually feel like he should just max out and go. This is like the one way that DRG might be able to come back, is a big flank here. Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, he's not even taking it with the creeps. So any banelings that morph are certainly going to be quick, but he's doing a nice job here, splitting up his units, some on the low ground, some on the high. So it's going to be hard to really engage this perfectly. And those 2 Cloak Banshees really, oh man, wearing down some units nicely here.
Yeah, but I mean, DRG's about to do a big flank, and I think he's going to clean this up. Ganzi with a big blunder here. I mean, he's still very ahead, obviously, but this was the chance for DRG to get something done.
Yeah, those Banshees, the Overseer actually still alive here, narrowly surviving, and Baneling's coming to the high ground, so he'll clean this up. But look at that, another hatchery getting taken out here, and Ganzi just continues to, you know, he's not closing the game out, but he's just making sure there's not really a way he can lose.
Yeah, that's, you basically said, I mean, he can do unfavorable trades for the rest of the game, and it's actually just going to bleed DRG out. DRG losing that third base. He does have the 4th, but just now sending drones, down by over 50 supply. The +3 attack is about to finish, and look at that, even bringing out a Thor to help deal with this Mutalisk swarm, and I don't know if I can even call it a swarm because he has less than 20.
No, I wouldn't call it a swarm, that's for sure.
This little gaggle of mutas.
Another medevac coming here into the 4th. Well, a huge push heads towards the main base here, and Ganzi just, you know, he just will not let up. And DRG, you know, he can't make any headway. And now he's supply capped to a ton of Overlords in production, but there it is. GG comes out.
Ganzi suddenly is going to be in first or second place overall, it looks like. Or oh, if he wins this next one, he's definitely in second.
Yeah, I mean, this next match is going to be very important because, like, how many players are going to be 3-3 here? It's going to be 5 players at 3-3.
DRG is 3-3, and so is Ganzi, but Ganji's going to be up towards the top of that pack. Of course, there is a third game because we need those more tiebreakers and everything. But, you know, you and I expressed our dissatisfaction with the choice when you're so far behind to actually go into Spire Tech and Mutalisks. Sheth Grubby, do you agree with us, or are we crazy?
You are crazy, but we also agree with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
That's actually exactly what I was looking for.
Let me tell you something. There's 3 things I hate. Big lines at roller coasters, big lines in supermarkets, and big lines in barracks. And we saw a lot of that in both games. I'm not sure if you had the time to look at it, but we had Ganzi sitting on about 2,000 to 3,000 minerals income per minute in this last game, and he was working off of 5 barracks.
Wow.
He had
they were all lined up.
Yeah, it was nice, it was very beautiful. A lot of white. Marines all lined up. So if we speak about his strengths, it was his timings of attack, I think. Very aggressive, always all over the place, drops everywhere. Also his strategy choices, very sound, and just his general expansion timing and so on. But weak point, a little bit the macro department with how many production buildings he has.
And it is pretty amazing to be able to watch because he has such a huge line. of Marines there, he's he's obviously focusing elsewhere all the time.
Yeah.
Like he's always dealing with a drop positioning, maybe a drop positioning while another positioning of a drop. Like it's just all over the place. With
And he did that so good.
I know. Like you should just make some more racks. Like
that's actually really interesting because Ganzi, when he busted onto the StarCraft 2 scene, was really a macro-based player. But it seems like here we're seeing him be much more meticulous against DRG.
Yeah, and it seems a little bit the trend from the first game of Dongraegu to continue on in this game. A little bit too safe again. I mean, he held off that first attack with the Banshees a bit, and they had this big trade. And then afterwards, obviously, we as casters know that there was a third orbital relatively undefended. And then you see Dongraegu, he just keeps making units, kept making Zerglings, 2 more Spine Crawlers, and then going for the Spire attack. Very, very late third. And it just wasn't appropriate to the situation. Hard point, of course, is to say, did he have the knowledge not to do that? Did he know that was a mistake? Yeah, probably not. But we know it was. Too safe.
Yes. Certainly it was. Well, I mean, DRG is going to have to try to win this third game. It actually is very important with everyone getting tied up at this point. They are ready, so we're going to go ahead and start it. It's going to be on Cloud Kingdom. Ganzi against DRG out of BC. Your prediction?
Ooh, my prediction. I'm gonna stick with my original one. I'm not gonna flip flop. I'm gonna put Dongraegu as the victor here.
I don't know, man. When I see that lack of decision making, it's hard to imagine DRG taking out Ganji, who's